Hello everybody, I'm your host, Derek Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com, and today we're going to continue part 2, that income inequality. That's right, I'm not giving it up yet. What do you see behind me? Fed Bank is what I call it. Why do you think they have all these fees? Why do you think they don't give a damn about you? They get that free money also from the Federal Reserve Bank. How much do they give other banks today to stay liquid? That's right, I'm gonna have a link down below. Go check it out. Yesterday it was 38 billion. How much more do you think they gave out today? You're not getting none of that money. I'm not getting none of that money. We're gonna talk about it. So welcome. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest update. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. That's right, income inequality. I'm gonna have another short video for y'all today so you can get the gist of this. This is why you need that extra income. That's why you need that LLC. And we're gonna talk about a few little other things. But first, of course, TifosiOptics.com. TifosiOptical.com. Check. Emerging Millionaires t-shirt. Check. You can get yours. See the link down below at StopStrugglingNow.com and go to the SSN merchandise link. Show some support, show some love. Now, back to this income inequality. We're going to even talk about business today because yesterday I'm talking about affiliate links. I got a message from Opus Virtual Office. They're allowing me to sign up additional people to promote the Opus Virtual Office for $99, and you get all these extra benefits. For all those people who are starting an LLC, who wants to get business funding, business financing, business loans down the road, you need a business or corporate address. Helps you out greatly. Therefore, Opus Virtual Office helps you out greatly. And there's some people like me who do not give out their residential address, and I use a mailbox center or an Opus Virtual Office for this same purpose. So therefore, it can work as just a different address altogether. If you travel around like I do, it's hard to check your mail every day when you live in Cali and live in Florida. All right? So let's get real about this. And the same thing holds true for business. If you're traveling about, you need mail to be accepted, you need FedEx, UPS, DHL to come to your office and you're expecting packages, you're gonna need something. So that's why, if you wanna promote Opus Virtual Office, just hit me up or use the link down below to sign up as an affiliate and you can start it yourself. Now, let's get down to this income inequality and why I'm on this so much. Because there's so many of you that aren't doing a damn thing. Let's just put it like it is. You know I get real here. That's what this is. If you know 60%, 70% now of the population doesn't even have 1 G in their bank account. Come on, do you realize what that's saying? When somebody's talking to me and they start telling me, hey, I need an investment in this program, in this guru crap, and they're asking for $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 for people to sign up, and you people are sitting there getting your credit cards because you're in the lower 20% of our economic scale, meaning you have a negative net worth, negative wealth. That's not what we want to be in, right? So why are you giving these fools this kind of money? You can create your own money yourself. So again, those intellectual properties, that YouTube channel, that Instagram, that Facebook page, come on, that Snapchat, that TikTok, your time is burning up while you're watching my videos. Your money's worth less as an hour from now, as the feds are printing up money. Come on, how much more of this do I have to keep saying? I said part of this yesterday and I'm saying it again. Get down to your intellectual property and make your own business, your own future. Whatever you start today is your future. Sure, did you not know in 2005, there was no Instagram, TikToks, there weren't any Twitters. There's none of this, no Facebook, nothing. So see how time changes in 14, 15 years? Just like that. Economics, economies can change. Uber is the best case. Airbnb. These places weren't even known at the time, but yet it creates millions, billions. So I'm just saying, this is a wake-up call. That's why I'm doing these 2 days in a row for this income inequality, because you have an uphill battle. If you're gonna sit there and work for somebody else and not make any extra money, that's on you, like I always say. I have nothing against you for working and being safe and getting your 401 or potential pension. But let's face facts. If you're just now starting out and you got to work somewhere for another 10 to 15 years, who knows if you're going to have that job, and who knows if you're even going to have your pension, your 401k, or your Social Security coming in, let alone Medicare and Medicaid. So that's right, get your health right. Eat right the best you can. Get that organic food. Get that tofu if you like. Plant food. I don't care. But you better work out. Get your fitness done. Eat properly. Do more healthy things, because you're going to live a long life. And you don't want to be 40 years old, 50 years old, going in for medical treatment. Your job is not going to cover it 100%. You're going to have to pay a deductible. And that is one of the major things that takes people's wealth away. Medical bills, medical collection. Come on, think about your future. You can have all the insurance you want, but if they keep taking away things, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for a large portion of anything major. And if these bills keep going up like they do in America, where you go in and it costs you $100,000 and they say, okay, that deductible for $1,500 you got, that's a nice joke on you. Because the bottom line of the story is they might say, well, you got to pay 20 G's. Now what? That's a lot of people. A lot of people have this medical bankruptcy going on in America. I don't want you to be part of this equation. So watch your health starting today. You can change starting today. Now, let's get down to the money-making aspects. Again, the internet is free. There are lots of things on the internet that you can do to start making money today that doesn't cost you out of pocket. If you're willing to send a guru $2,500, $2,000, $1,000, why aren't you willing to spend $1,000 on yourself? This is just basic common sense. Come on now. It's not that hard. With all the tools available, with all this information, the internet was supposed to make people smart. What did it do? Nothing. People are sitting here online looking at other stupid videos, pranks. Come on. Really? You're watching other people's lives go by. Reality TV. Instead of taking that hour, 30 minutes to say, hey, you know what? Let me go over here to Buzzsprout that Eric told me about. That's a free podcast that I can get for 90 days. And let me get hooked up with iTunes and iHeartRadio and Stitcher and all these other guys, Spotify. Maybe I'll start something that way for my 30 minutes of time that I'm watching this BS TV. The idiot box, as they called it back in the day, and it's still an idiot box. That could be you they're watching, except you can monetize it and make money on your own. So that's what we're talking about again. So forgive me if I have this disdain, this disgust on my face, but it's because people are sleeping and they're not paying attention, and I'm bringing it to you. And again, hit the link down below. See how much the feds are giving the top 1% again today. Not just yesterday, the 38 billion. Find out how much they're giving them today. It'll be down there, and now you'll start getting disgusted while you're sitting here getting left behind on the economic scale. So with all that said, I'm going to show a short clip right now so you can get this income inequality, this wealth gap in America, and get an understanding on why you need to get moving.
There's a chart I saw recently that I can't get out of my head. A Harvard business professor and economist asked more than 5,000 Americans how they thought wealth was distributed in the United States. This is what they said they thought it was. Dividing the country into 5 rough groups of the top, bottom, and middle 3 20% groups, they asked people how they thought the wealth in this country was divided. Then he asked them what they thought was the ideal distribution. And 92%, that's at least 9 out of 10 of them, said it should be more like this. In other words, more equitable than they think it is. Now that fact is telling, admittedly, the notion that most Americans know that the system is already skewed unfairly. But what's most interesting to me is the reality compared to our perception. The ideal is as far removed from our perception of reality as the actual distribution is from what we think exists in this country. So ignore the ideal for a moment. Here's what we think it is again. And here is the actual distribution. Shockingly skewed. Not only do the bottom 20% and the next 20%, the bottom 40% of Americans barely have any of the wealth. I mean, it's hard to even see them on the chart. But the top 1% has more of the country's wealth than 9 out of 10 Americans believe the entire top 20% should have. Mind-blowing. But let's look at it another way, because I find this chart kind of difficult to wrap my head around. Instead, let's reduce the 311 million Americans to just a representative 100 people. Make it simple. Here they are: teachers, coaches, firefighters, construction workers, engineers, doctors, lawyers, some investment bankers, a CEO, maybe a celebrity or two. Now let's line them up according to their wealth. Poorest people on the left, wealthiest on the right, just a steady row of folks based on their net worth. We'll color code them like we did before based on which 20% quintile they fall into. Now let's reduce the total wealth of the United States, which was roughly $54 trillion in 2009, to this symbolic pile of cash. And let's distribute it among our 100 Americans. Well, here's socialism, all the wealth of the country distributed equally. We all know that won't work. We need to encourage people to work and work hard to achieve that good old American dream and keep our country moving forward. So, here's that ideal we asked everyone about. Something like this curve. This isn't too bad. We've got some incentive, as the wealthiest folks are now about 10 to 20 times better off than the poorest Americans. But hey, even the poor folks aren't actually poor, since the poverty line has stayed almost entirely off the chart. We have a super healthy middle class with a smooth transition into wealth. And yes, Republicans and Democrats alike chose this curve. 9 out of 10 people, 92%, said this was a nice, ideal distribution of America's wealth. But let's move on. This is what people think America's wealth distribution actually looks like. Not as equitable, clearly, but for me, even this still looks pretty great. Yes, the poorest 20 to 30% are starting to suffer quite a lot compared to the ideal, and the middle class is certainly struggling more than they were, while the rich and wealthy are making roughly 100 times that of the poorest Americans, and about 10 times that of the still healthy middle class. Sadly, this isn't even close to the reality. Here is the actual distribution of wealth in America. The poorest Americans don't even register. They're down to pocket change, and the middle class is barely distinguishable from the poor. In fact, even the rich between the top 10 and 20 percentile are worse off. Only the top 10% are better off. And how much better off? So much better off that the top 2 to 5% are actually off the chart at this scale. And the top 1%, this guy, well, his stack of money stretches 10 times higher than we can show. Here's his stack of cash, restacked, all by itself. This is the top 1% we've been hearing so much about. So much green in his pockets that I have to give him a whole new column of his own, because he won't fit on my chart. 1% of America has 40% of all the nation's wealth. The bottom 80%, 8 out of every 10 people, or 80 out of these 100, only has 7% between them. And this has only gotten worse in the last 20 to 30 years. While the richest 1% take home almost a quarter of the national income today, in 1976, they took home only 9%, meaning their share of income has nearly tripled in the last 30 years. The top 1% own half the country's stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The bottom 50% of Americans own only 0.5% of these investments, which means they aren't investing. They're just scraping by. I'm sure many of these wealthy people have worked very hard for their money. But do you really believe that the CEO is working 380 times harder than his average employee? Not his lowest paid employee, not the janitor, but the average earner in his company. The average worker needs to work more than a month to earn what the CEO makes in 1 hour. We certainly don't have to go all the way to socialism to find something that is fair for hardworking Americans. We don't even have to achieve what most of us consider might be ideal. All we need to do is wake up and realize that the reality in this country is not at all what we think it is.
All right, more education. So anyhow, the Fed Bank there, check this out. Fed Bank here. That's right, Chase is a Fed Bank as well. Don't be confused, ladies and gentlemen. You're a worky bee, just like them ants in a colony. You're creating a better good for the top 1%, the top 20%. That's what you're doing. Now it's time for you to get your piece of the pie. There's no reparations coming. Come on. There's no handouts coming. If you think getting by on handouts and all that's going to work in the long run, all that means is you're going to be down there at the bottom 20% negative net worth. You don't want to be there, especially when you have free opportunities. Don't even give it to me. I don't want to hear the excuses. Eric, I don't have internet. I don't have a computer. I don't have a laptop. Okay, give me a break. Go down to the damn library. That's all. They're free. In your local city, they're free to go down there. They'll let you use the internet for an hour or two. Start it right there. I did a video on this a year ago. All right, enough. All I want to say is, ladies and gentlemen, you have to start thinking about your future. And I don't know about you, but your kids, grandkids, great-grandkids are going to have a daunting task ahead of them. And it'd be nice if you gave them a little head start on your departure. Okay? So all I'm saying is, now is the time to get everything in order as far as economic freedom. And you could be the first one in your family, if there aren't others, that can start towards this goal. And I'm here to help. You can always email me at eric@stopstrugglingnow.com. This is the No Guru Zone. I'm not charging. People keep hitting me up saying, how much do I charge for doing this consultations? I've been responding lately. Just email me or text me. I'll just answer your questions. There's no consultation fee or nothing. I've been like trying to help. That's what we do here at Stop Struggling Now. And by the way, not that Falcon coin. I haven't forgotten about you. Everybody who's ordered up the Emerging Millionaires t-shirt, they're gonna be mailed out starting Friday. This week, Friday. So get your orders in now. Men, women, t-shirts, hoodies, and all that, we got it. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please, like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And you know it's hard out here. That's why I'm bringing the real. It's real out here in the field. Stop playing. So, that's all I got to say today. Keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.